Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union. Today I want to read a success story from one of my clients. She wrote this to me in the hopes that this will inspire a lot of you guys to persist and not to give up. And I also got a couple other emails from other clients this morning. Everybody's kind of on their different journey. They're at a different point in their journey. Example, I think it was last night or the night before someone emailed me and said that their person blocked them out of nowhere. And then this morning, they're talking. They spent a lot of time together last night, had dinner, spent quality time together. When she brought up that she was blocked, the SP said, no, you weren't, basically, in so many words. A lot of things are perception, and a lot of things are also what you've just manifested because you were very fearful of something. Okay. So I also have another success story that I might film later today that is actually, it might need to be PG rated. It's very sexy and juicy. So I'll be potentially filming that later on today after this if I still have the energy. But anyway, let me get into this. I pray that it helps inspire a lot of you guys. Again, depending on where you are in your journey, when you hear success stories like this, be inspired by them. Don't compare yourself to others because that's like one of the number one things that you want to get out of the habit of doing because you're perfect, you're good enough, and you're doing the work good enough too. You're doing the inner work good enough too. So you don't have to keep checking the 3D to see if what you're doing is working. You also don't need to go from this to that to this to that technique, because when you do that, that's actually the thing that causes 99% of you guys to spiral and be confused because you're actually not trusting in yourself. You're not trusting that you're the operant power of your reality, and you're not necessarily trusting that what's in your heart and soul is literally already done. All of creation is done. You're not creating it. You are selecting it and accepting it and allowing yourself to experience it. That's what the inner work is meant to do. Okay. It's not meant to make something happen. Okay. So before I do get into this, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you love my content. If you want me to be your coach to help you manifest your specific person back or to improve the relationship dynamic of what it currently is, feel free to email me a short description to kim@coreunion.com and then book your session with me at coreunion.com. You can do a single session or a package. You also can manifest anything in terms of health, business, promotions, finances, security, homes, cars, anything that you want, because it's literally all the same. If you desire it, if it's in your heart and soul, it already exists. It's already done. So you just want to do whatever you need to do to let go and detach from your fears, worries, limiting beliefs, and all old stories. And revision is very powerful, as my client will, as it says in her story today. So let me just get right into this. She wrote, "Hi, Kim. I'm writing to tell you about the amazing movement that I experienced with my SP last night. It came out of the blue, and now I understand what people mean when they say that you can just not imagine how the bridge of incidents is going to happen, and things can be much closer than you think. I hope it's not too long. Feel free to edit or let me know if something doesn't make sense. I've been inspired and reassured many times by success stories that you've read from other clients. So I am telling the story in the hope that will inspire others not to give up, even when things look challenging in the 3D. A bit of background. I had been in a relationship with my SP for 4 years, and after about a year of ups and downs and me being unhappy with the level of commitment in the relationship, he broke up with me back in April of this year. So 7 months ago. I am 49 and he's around the same age. We both have grown up kids and we're both divorced. This was the most mature, happy relationship I've ever been in. And I know from the first date that we were connected at a soul level. I was not ready to let this go. And I knew that he still had deep feelings for me, even though he said he had enough of being in a relationship and wanted to be free. As a side note, I now know that the breakup was the 3D manifestation of fears that I had entertained almost since we first got together, and it was a repeating pattern throughout all my long-term relationships, based on the belief that people would eventually leave me because I was too much to handle emotionally. I had not learned until this year about how powerful my thoughts and beliefs were, and so, of course, this manifested. See, that was her previous self-concept. After the breakup, we continued to see each other about 2 times a week. Once I started the manifesting process, Things got really good for a while, but then looking back, I was doing the techniques, but was still totally hooked on 3D validation. As a result, whenever circumstances didn't go exactly the way I thought they should, I crumbled. After a few instances of this happening, I got more and more fearful, and of course, the relationship started to go downhill. I was panicking, as it seemed to be a spiral that I couldn't stop. During the last month, he got more and more distant and started to talk about wanting to meet and date other people. At one point, even though I was feeling very discouraged, I decided to go all in as I felt I now had nothing to lose. I went back. This is what I always want you guys to do. I went back to original Neville Goddard texts and audiobooks. I decided to really accept that I had to stop letting the 3D bother me and stop trying to change the external circumstances. I had to just know it was already done and relax into the knowing that I didn't have to do anything. This was easier said than done. And to be honest, I didn't fully succeed. Even 6 days ago, I was sitting on his couch crying and feeling sorry for myself and telling all the old stories about how I felt so alone and abandoned and begging him to reconsider. This was actually a wake up call for me because I realized that I was still very attached to these old stories. I'm not proud of myself for that, but I want to be honest and show that things can still turn around and shift, even if you are not perfectly in the wish fulfilled 100% of the time. I guess I did enough to shift things though. Because you've been now for several months more persisting in a more powerful way, that's what caused you to be able to pull out of your darkness quicker than you normally were able to before. And remember that this is all about frequency and dominantly visiting what you want. So when it tips over, it could be you might assign that it's just this one particular thing that you said or did, but it's the cumulative effect of what you've been doing for months. About 2 weeks ago, I started to focus on self concept and really know that I'm the creator and I'm the powerful one. I did this for work and health topics too, not just SP. And this is also what I always try to drive home with you guys. You can't make it everything about your specific person because then you're putting too much energy around that, and that creates too much pressure on your manifestation. Okay. So that's putting something on a pedestal. It doesn't mean that you don't think very highly of your specific person. You want to think very highly of yourself and very highly of them. And again, think of them as thinking very highly of you and highly of themselves. I wrote down all those old beliefs and then crossed them out and replaced them with statements that reflected my desires. I got strict with myself about my thoughts. At the same time, I took Kim's advice to be gentle and supportive with myself when feeling down or anxious. This was really a balancing act for me, but with practice, I got better at knowing when I had to comfort myself and when I had to say, no, stop now. That's not true. I think the tipping point came in when I did revision. I went back to a scene in my head and then reimagined it completely different and the way I wanted it to go. I revised a recent phone call. I revised the breakup in April. And I revised a scene from early in our relationship where I had told him that I knew he would get tired of me in the end because everyone did. And then last night, I went out to meet him with friends in a bar. I was really not expecting any movement and even told myself before I went, no reacting to 3D today. Everything is working out for me, whatever happens. I also set the intention that I was going to have a really fun and memorable evening. At first, there seemed to be nothing different, and I focused on enjoying myself and chatting to the other people there. When we left the first place, he helped me with my coat, which he has never, ever done before. I noticed that and thought, wow, what's up? And I also, and I allowed myself to enjoy it and receive it because I was worth that kind of attention and care. A few minutes later, something similar, he gave me his hand to help me over snowy pavement. In the past few months, he would not usually do that kind of gentlemanly thing. Again, I noted it and just accepted that kind of treatment as if it was natural. I felt very confident and in the zone. Here's where the coincidence comes in. By chance, there was someone, this isn't a coincidence, by the way. By chance, there was someone in the next place we went to that struck up a conversation with our group because he heard my accent and realized we came from the same place. It turns out he knew one of my ex-boyfriends from way back, so we had a great time sharing memories and laughs. He was attractive and confident and appeared to be single and interested in me. However, I was not really flirting, more just enjoying making the connection and enjoying his attention. My SP did not seem too bothered by it, but I didn't care. I was not out to make him jealous. I was just enjoying myself. To cut a long story short, by the end of the night, it was just me, my SP, and this other guy had left. I decided it was time for me to go and thought we were all leaving. But then my SP said he wanted to stay for one more drink. I asked him if he wanted to stay in the bar alone. To be honest, I thought he wanted maybe to meet someone, but he said no and asked me to stay longer. The other guy had left. This is where my SP opened the emotional floodgates and started telling me how he still loved me and he couldn't understand why I had stuck by him all these months. He said he didn't understand why I saw what I saw in him, that he was amazed by how loyal and committed I was. He said so many lovely things, the best being that he was now thinking we should give our relationship another try. I never experienced him talking to me so openly, and we stayed awake for hours holding each other and talking. When I woke up this morning, I felt so happy and relaxed. I also noticed some fears come up, though. Would he change his mind? What now? What's next? But I told myself, keep going, keep persisting, keep being that person that is already in the relationship. The fears are not true and they have no meaning. Know that it is done. The end is not fully in the 3D yet, so I just keep going. I decided not to force anything and let it evolve. I did tell him last night was intense, fun, and lovely. When I said this, my energy was not needy for a response. I was just relaxed. The turnaround was so reassuring that I am on the right track and things can just shift when you least expect it. I am motivated to continue and just relax and enjoy. I hope that this has helped someone listening. I know that it has. Thank you so much, Kim, for your wise counsel in the coaching sessions and all the free content that you generously produce. I have learned so much from you, and there is really no secret to this process of conscious manifestation. All the information is out there for us to learn. The key is to put it into practice and really claim our power, not be victims, even if sometimes we want to be. I finally understand why it doesn't make sense to react to the 3D. If we react, we are showing that we don't trust that it's working out. We're not being the person experiencing and believing in our end. Thanks again, Kim. Much love. And much love back to you. And much love to all of you guys who are listening, watching, and being inspired by this another amazing client success story. Please do keep persisting, keep letting go of your old worries, fears, doubts, limiting beliefs, keep embodying being the version of yourself who is in the relationship. Don't focus on your middle. Don't seek for validation in your 3D ever. It's not something you want to do because when you do that, then you aren't living from the end, you're living from the middle and you're manifesting from the middle. Okay. So to truly embody being that version of you and to maintain that version of you is with the version of your specific person who loves you equally and deeply as much as you love them. Okay. So you want to make this equal. You want to make this harmonious, secure, and you want to have this be a relationship that's healthy. One of the things that she mentioned that I'm going to highlight just at the end of this is that one of the very first steps, like that I do with my clients, is we go over the old story. We get clear. So what is it that we do want? This process is important for you to do. And as you're going through it, through your middle, over time, when there are stubborn fears that keep coming up, it is a good practice. I do this all the time with things. If there's something that is just kind of getting a hold of me and I can't quite let it go, I type out what it is that I am currently believing. And then I delete it and I write over what it is that I want and how I want to see it. Okay. And then I incorporate that into my inner work. It's an important part of the process to get clear. I love you guys so much. I hope that this video helps. I pray that it did. I'll talk to you guys soon. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between